Welcome back to the podcast. Today, I am thrilled to be speaking with Travis Dedmore, a luxury travel advisor and the driving force behind Travisli Luxury Travel Design. Travisli is dedicated to crafting tailor-made journeys that reflect clients' dreams and desires, ensuring each adventure is truly unforgettable. Travis, to kick things off and to give our listeners a better understanding of the incredible work that you and your team do, can you tell us a bit more about your role and what Travisli does specifically, who you serve, and the value that you provide?
Well, of course. Thank you. I am the founder and lead travel advisor for Travisli Lux. I work with travelers who value thoughtful planning, trusted expertise, and a deeply personal experience. That's probably at the core, a deeply personal. I want to know my clients, and so I build on that. My clients range from people planning a single meaningful trip to those who travel multiple times frequently throughout the year and want a consistent advisor. So at the heart of my work is understanding how my clients want to travel, how they like to travel, and translating that into experiences that feel intentional, seamless, of course, seamless and well cared for. I want my clients to feel that I really care about the experience that they have and that I was listening when they were talking to me about what they wanted. Whether I'm designing a one-off trip or supporting ongoing travel, the value that I believe that I provide is clarity and advocacy and confidence in what I'm doing. And that's a growth for me from when I started to where I am now.
Amazing. And I know reading all the reviews that you have, your clients certainly feel that that's exactly, you provide such incredible values. It must be really rewarding as well.
Client. I love my client. I feel very
Amazing.
loved.
Yeah. Incredible. And how did you come to found the business? What inspired it all?
Well, my husband and I, about 9 years ago, went to Europe for a month and we spent like 10 days in Greece. We spent 10 days in Italy and then we went to France. And when I came back from the trip, I love to travel. But when I came back from that particular trip, I had to admit that I almost enjoyed the planning and puzzling and thinking. I wanted my husband to have this amazing experience because he's very relaxed and low key. He's not hard to please, but I wanted it to be amazing. And it was amazing. And I thought that experience lit me up. And at the time, I wasn't even sure travel agents were a thing anymore. And I was like, I wonder if I could do that for other people. And then I just started researching and finding out that, yeah, I could. And so that was the basic start to deciding that this was right for me.
That's amazing. And that business, having that alignment of business and passion is so key, right? So the fact that came out organically is incredible.
Yeah, it really is. I've always loved to travel. And so that, although I had never considered a career in travel, my prior life, I was a corporate paralegal for 25, 30 years. And so I'm great at research, and I love to travel, but I didn't know that I didn't realize I could actually use it for a business, but that was the start. And I just really want people I think traveling opens up so much growth, personal growth in ways that people don't even think of before they start their trip. And my goal is always to facilitate that growth on some level, quietly behind the scenes.
I love that. And again, part of the rewarding side it must be for you. Yeah.
Very much so, very much so.
And so fast forwarding to today, what does a typical day look like for you now as the founder?
Well, I review every inquiry that comes in from potential new clients. My hands are still in everything. The business is my baby, for lack of a better term. But my days are a blend of strategic thinking, creative design, client connection. I stay really connected to my clients. I could be working on future trips, future plans. I have a separate portion of my business called the Signature Circle, and it is for clients who travel frequently and want an ongoing relationship. And so for them, I'm constantly thinking about their future milestones, where what they have coming up in the future so that I can be proactive as opposed to reactive in meeting their needs or bringing them ideas. And so that is a lot of what goes on in my day to day. And then I'm also focused on refining my systems and strengthening my relationships with suppliers. That's a really key fundamental part of my business because my relationship with the suppliers lends itself to my clients having an exceptional experience. And so I put a lot of effort into knowing who, using Greece as an example, knowing who has the same high touch in their service that I expect to give to my clients. It has to be aligned. Everything needs to be aligned. So I grow those relationships. That's a very big part of my day. Staying in touch with my vendors, keeping track, knowing, just being a friend, basically.
That makes so much sense. And as part of that, does it also include visiting some of these places that you send your clients to?
Of course, that's one of my favorite perks.
And it is so important though, right?
It is. It really
exactly.
is. Yes. I specialize in Greece and the Mediterranean. So Italy, France, Turkey, Montenegro, those areas. That's my specialty. I will, of course, work with my clients wherever they want to go. But if it's something that I have a colleague who specializes in, I will refer out because I know what I know and I can't know everywhere as well as I want to present it to my clients. So I go to Greece every year. I go to 3 at the most travel shows so that I can meet with vendors in person. And so those are, this year I went to Spain twice and Greece once. So it's like it's a constant. It needs to be regular because it needs to be an honest relationship as opposed to a something more superficial. At least for me, that's important.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense when everything is authentic, and that would then show up in your clients' trips.
Yes, so I want it to show up. It's very important to me.
Yeah, of course. And so how has your role evolved as the business is growing? Because how many team members do you have?
I have 2 team members. I have another travel advisor, and then I have an administrative assistant who helps me with building itineraries and that type of thing and staying on top of client data. And ultimately, I believe she will work into travel advisor role. So it's been great because she's able to do the administrative work and see how the other things work also so that she can feel like she's growing in the position. So that's been really good. But my role in the early days, I was doing everything. And I still, like I said earlier, have my hands everywhere because I don't know, I hate to say I'm a control freak, but I have to stress that my clients are so incredibly important to me that I feel like my relationship with my other travel designer is, I would say we've been together for a little less than a year. And I trust her and I know she does beautiful work. But I believe that it will work into me being able to focus down on my signature circle group because that's my constant. That's where I'm learning, with the signature circle, these clients are with me. They've committed to me. I'm committed to them. And they travel frequently. So at each time they travel, I know more about them. So there's less back and forth. I'm not overwhelming them with options because I know them that well. That's the goal for me, is to know my clients so well that, I can send them a hotel and tell them why I think that they should say that. And they can say, that's exactly right. That's exactly what I want. And that comes from me working with them and, being intentional about the questions that I ask, being intentional, paying attention to their reaction to things when they actually do travel. I mean, it's all connected. And I think that it lends itself to its own success because the clients who feel that, like you said, you read my reviews, the clients who feel that talk about it to other people. And so as a bottom line figure, it comes back to me tenfold because I cared about this one trip. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So, I sure do.
It's very wonderful. I love it. I love this job. I love this job.
Imagine if everyone in the world could say that, right?
I
What a place.
know everybody. I would love for I would love for everybody to be able to say it. I really enjoyed my job as a paralegal in my previous life, but that little cartoon where I think of where somebody's bounding out of bed in the morning, even when there are problems. I am not by any
Mm,
means saying that this is a smooth, never an issue, perfect clients always. It's not
mhm,
like that. But even when there are problems, I am so grateful and I love it so much
mm.
that it just doesn't phase me the same. It's amazing.
That is incredible. And can you tell me a bit about what major shifts that you're seeing in the luxury travel industry right now?
I think that luxury travelers are moving away from volume and speed in the trip and leaning more into depth and meaning behind where they're going. It's not really, how much can they see in this period of time? They want the trips to be done better, slower, with more of a cultural immersion so that they can feel something while
Mm,
while they are visiting wherever it is they're visiting. And now, that's not always the case. Some people just want to go somewhere where they can totally disconnect. That's a completely different trip. But for the most part, I'm seeing the need, the want, the desire to culturally connect with wherever they're going, and not in a fast paced manner, more in a slow, relaxed. They want to see things, but they also want to experience themselves casually walking down the street and finding what they find. You know what I mean? It's like nothing is
mm.
jam packed. They're not looking for constant stimulation. It's more feeling like they're part of what they are experiencing.
Does that mean longer holidays or just less destinations? Like, how are you?
It can be both. It can be
Mm,
both. It can be longer. I've seen that where it's longer, or it can, I have clients who like to go to a minimum of 3 countries when they travel. And they used to do more than that, but they've pulled back on it. They're
mm,
usually gone for about 3.5 weeks, but they've pulled back. And so now they'll do 3 places, but they're spending a solid week in each place. And they don't, as Italy is an example, they don't want to go 10 different places in Italy. They want to go to the Dolomites and experience the Dolomites fully.
mm.
And you can do little trips from the Dolomites, but that's what they're leaning towards. It's like really knowing what it's like to live in those little villages as much as they can
Mm.
from an outside looking in situation.
That must be quite great to see and facilitate because you know that they're, yeah, having that a more of an authentic experience, really, isn't it? Rather than just kind of going, okay, seen it, seen it, seen it.
Exactly.
Um, yeah,
Exactly. Exactly.
amazing.
Yeah, it's very fulfilling for me. There are people who have never been to Italy before, want to go to Rome and see all of this stuff, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But even those people are saying, "Yeah, I want to do that. I want to go to the Vatican. I want to see the Spanish steps. I want to do all this stuff." But then I want to go somewhere else, not far away, and just be there, right?
Mm.
And so
Hmm.
that is definitely, I'm seeing that more often.
And are there any trends that you think that the industry isn't paying enough attention to at the moment?
Actually, I don't know. I think the this luxury travel community, the vendors and the advisors, it's a very, I think as a community, we are on top of it, basically. I think it stems from us caring about our clients.
Mm,
I have many travel advisor friends. I meet new ones every time I go to an event. And in general, we are very caring. We care about the outcome for our clients. So we are constantly paying attention to what they liked, what they didn't like, what worked, what didn't work. And I think as a whole, vendors and advisors together are on top of the trends and what is current. I mean, the magazines come out all the time telling us what's current. And sometimes I see that and I'm like, no, that was a couple of years ago. You know what I mean? It's
mhm,
like, it's just as a travel advisor, it's my job to stay on top of what's current so that I can be helpful to my clients.
Yes, I completely understand that. And what is working particularly well for your business at the moment? Is there anything
Yeah,
where you're
what's working really well is really great communication. I mean,
Mhm.
excellent communication with flexibility and consistency. What I have noticed over the last year is, which is why I work on my processes, everything needs to be consistent. I don't want a client to come to me who came to me last year to come to me this year and the process be all over the place and not anything similar to what they were used to before. You know what I mean? So it's like
Mm,
the consistency of how I do things, so that they are familiar with the process. It's not, oh, I thought, didn't you provide me a list of restaurants last time and then I didn't do it this time? It's like the
mm,
process needs to be consistent. Process needs to be
mm,
consistent. The process needs to work. There needs to be flexibility on everybody's part, my part, their part, and exceptional communication. I can't.
mm,
I stress that in my initial meeting with clients. It's like I want them to tell me. I don't want them to be afraid to say, why did you give that to me? Why did you suggest that? I mean, I want it to be a very clear collaborative effort. It's not often that that happens because I feel like personally I listen very well and I'm a great note taker and I have some really key questions that give me insight into what my clients want and the way that they travel. But if I'm missing a mark, I need to know that so that I can course correct as quickly as possible and
mm,
not waste their time and essence not waste my time. So that's why I stress the clear communications. And it works.
mm.
So far it works and it's been wonderful.
Yeah, amazing. And is there to help with that, the clear communication, and as you say, to have all your processes, really well structured and just have everything flow really nicely? Is there a particular system or CRM that you're using that you find really helpful?
Well, I was using Travel Joy. I
Mhm.
use Travel Joy a lot, but it seems like they're veering off of the course that they were on originally. And so I've just recently invested in Tern, which is relatively new. I'd say they've been around for a couple of years, but they are meeting all of my needs. Their system is full bodied, and their forms are great and the ability to communicate with my clients is easy and setting up my system is also easy and it's easy for my associates to work within the same platform. So right now I'm very happy with Turn.
Oh, that's wonderful. And how about what has been challenging or frustrating for you recently?
Well, recently, until I found Turn recently,
Mhm.
the CRM issue. I mean, I understand it's a big lift for companies to be everything to travel advisors, but I felt as though Travel Joy was, I don't want to say dropping the ball, but they were not helping me as much as they were. And it may be simply because my business is expanding and growing in different ways that were no longer a good fit. And now that I've said that out loud, that's probably what it is. My
Right.
business has expanded and gone a different way. And at one point, Travel Joy was it. And now, so that was frustrating for me. And it was probably, like I said, growing pains on my end and not
Mm.
recognizing that it just didn't work anymore. But now that I'm with Turn, I feel like I'm in a good space. And next year I have some more expansion that I intend to bring on another advisor who specializes in a different area in Asia. But I believe that I'm in a good space now, and so there's no worries at the moment. We'll see.
Great. And in terms of the growth and expansion that you've been going through and, are planning on seeing a lot more of next year, is there something that you've done in particular to facilitate that?
Well, over the last year is when I realized the relationship that I was building with the clients who have come to me consistently 2 or 3 times a year or more. And so over the past year, I've been working on the processes and the service level that I am offering to these clients in the signature circle, which is more and a more one-on-one. It's only me dealing with their travel. It's a priority situation. It's an invitation only because it has to be a good fit for for it to work for me and for it to work for them. And it's not for everybody would not resonate with it. But what I found was that the clients that it did resonate with were more than happy to have to start building a very long-term relationship with a travel advisor. It's more like I'm a consultant for them, as well as somebody who can build the trip. They can ask me questions about any travel aspect, and I am there for them to help figure it out. And so that has been a big part of the growth over the last year. And I wasn't necessarily expecting that, but I was pleased. I was very
Yeah, what a wonderful service.
yes.
What a wonderful
I'm
service it
happy.
is.
I love it.
And is there anything that you're doing to acquire new clients to then become part of that signature circle as well?
Well, most of my clients, I have a lot of clients who find me on Google, but most of my clients come to me on a referral basis. And before I can offer them the signature circle experience, I need to at least have worked with them once or twice just to know how our interaction is. I mean, it has to be, it has to have a good base before I can commit myself to providing this elevated service. I don't want to do it haphazardly, and I don't want to overpromise what it. As an example, if some people are more difficult than others, and it's not that I wouldn't work with somebody on the more difficult edge, but I can't allow somebody to be in the signature circle who's going to take away from my other clients who are in that. You know what I mean? It's like I can't afford that.
I do.
So it's very it's very intentional.
Yeah, that's so smart that you have created something that you then can be somewhat selective about.
Yes.
And who becomes part of that circle. And are there what sort of metrics or indicators are you most focused on improving at the moment? Obviously, the signature circle is super important to you. Are there other?
That's probably the primary. I'm always happy I'm always happy when I'm connected with new clients that align. I find that when current clients that I adore refer somebody, they usually fall into that group. I mean, people have similar friends. And so I do track my referrals because I'm very proud of those. And so I think that would be significant. That would be significant for me to track for next year as well. And of course, the bottom line, the money that comes into the business is always significant and helpful.
Of course. And what's next for your team? I know we've touched on the signature circle in terms of innovation and growth or continuing to enhance the client experience. Can you sort of expand on that a little bit more?
Well, I would like to continue refining the client experience. It's an ongoing thing. I think my goal isn't rapid expansion. It's more like intentional growth. I think that's what I started with last year. And I want to continue to serve the one-off travelers exceptionally well. I don't want anything to, slack in that. But also want to enhance the signature circle with a more immersive, proactive experience. And so all of that is part of the next year.
And with your current, so you say most of your clients comes through to your website. Is it from finding you either referrals or through SEO? And you're finding that you're happy with the amount of inquiries that you're having at the moment, or are you looking to try and increase that? Are you looking into AEO with the AI enhanced search optimization as well? Because I know that's a whole nother beast now.
It is, and it's one that I don't know anything about. I would like to I'm happy with the amount of inquiries that come in. I would like it to increase. It's the fluctuation. I have, it's up and
Mm-hmm.
down with the inquiries. I would like it to be more consistent, but I'm sure everybody could say that. Um, but I don't know that I don't know anything about, I have not yet learned how to do that other than organically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, I'm kind of, I don't know how I just don't know how that would look.
Mm, It's a lot, isn't it? And I think, marketing is such a complex, high stakes function, and have an algorithm change or have to consider the likes of AI and so forth. And there's just so many different areas that we need to be considering. It's a lot.
It
So I
is.
completely understand for sure. What advice would you give someone looking to start or grow a travel business today?
I would say they should design their business around the experience that they want to deliver. Not the experience, not just where you want to sell, what you want to sell, the experience that you want for your clients. For me, that was the kind of experience that I would want personally. And so that was a good starting point to work from. And then as you get clients and you test it, it helps you define it even cleaner. But I think also think specializing is good. In the beginning I was doing whatever,
Mm,
everything, whatever. Wherever anybody wanted to go, whatever they wanted, wherever they wanted to go, oh yes, I could do it for sure. But I think that niching down to Greece and the Mediterranean has been a plus because those are the areas that I'm very familiar with and very comfortable in. And so
mm,
I don't want to say easy, but it's easy to talk about because I love it.
mm,
And so it's genuine and it feels genuine and people can tell that.
mm,
So I would say, you know, sell what you love and do
mm,
the best at that. That would be my
mm. Wonderful. Thank you. Well, that was really great. And thank you so much for sharing all these insights and your perspective. I think our listeners are going to find it extremely valuable. And I really, really appreciate you taking the time. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. I appreciate it.